Jerry, 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 Jerry. Yeah, that name is basically synonymous with television's infamous talk show host, Jerry Springer. Yes, for those of you who don't know, Jerry Springer passed away today at the age of 79. So we're going to talk about it and we're going to get into this, okay? Hey everyone, it's your girl. I'm tuning in. Well, I'm not tuning in. I'm coming at you on my day off, and it's a Thursday. And I know I played the happy emoji, which I'm not happy that Jerry Springer passed away. I would never be happy over somebody passing away. But what I will say is that Jerry Springer, whether you liked his show or you loathed it, Jerry Springer was an icon in television. I'm going to explain why after I read to you from the New York Post this breaking story about Jerry Springer's passing. It reads, Jerry Springer dead. Legendary TV host was 79. Jerry Springer, one of the most influential talk show hosts in TV history, has passed. He was 79. Springer passed peacefully in his home in suburban Chicago on Thursday. His family confirmed, according to a report from his longtime employer, NBC affiliate WLWT in Cincinnati. Jerry's ability to connect with people was at the heart of his success in everything he tried, whether that was politics, broadcasting, or just joking with people on the street who wanted a photo or a word, said Gene Galvin, a lifelong friend and spokesperson for the family. He's irreplaceable, and his loss hurts immensely, but memories of his intellect, heart, and humor will live on. Springer was reportedly diagnosed with the C a few months ago, which unfortunately took a bad turn this week, according to TMZ. Springer spoke to the Post just last week and touched on his pop culture legacy. If a legacy is what you're best known for, obviously I'm best known for this crazy show, he said, alluding to the Jerry Springer Show. In a sense, I've become an adjective in the English language. When people say I'm having a Jerry Springer moment, or when they say, don't go Jerry Springer on me now, everyone knows instantly what they're talking about. Springer, Gerald Norman Jerry Springer, was born on February 13, 1944, in London, England, to Jewish refugees from Germany. Both of his grandmothers were killed in Nazi concentration camps. His family immigrated to the U.S. in January 1949 when Springer was almost 5 years old, settling in Queens, New York, where he grew up with his sister Evelyn. He attended Tulane University, where he received a BA in political science in 1965, a time that fostered his interest in broadcast while DJing for the school-run radio station WTUL New Orleans FM. After graduating from Northwestern University Pritzker School of Law, Springer moved to Cincinnati and found work on Robert Kennedy's presidential campaign, marking the start of his career in the political sphere. While in Cincinnati, he was the chairman of the Hamilton County Voter 19 campaign, seeking to lower the voting age in Ohio, according to ABC's WCPO 9 Cincinnati. After making a dent in local politics, he unsuccessfully ran for Congress in 1970 as a Democrat against four-term incumbent Republican Donald Clancy. And I've heard of his name. I've heard of him. Just 3 days after announcing his candidacy for Congress, Springer, who served in the U.S. Army Reserves at the time, was called to active duty and deployed to Fort Knox. He continued his campaign when he was discharged. He got 45% of the vote, short of clinching the nomination. Springer was then elected to Cincinnati City Council in 1971 and re-elected in 1973, but his political stint didn't come without controversy. He was reportedly known as the city council member who got caught paying for sex with checks. Springer resigned from Cincinnati City Council on April 29, 1974, making a public apology and confession. Later, in 1977, he was elected as Cincinnati's 56th mayor and served one term. Yet his time as mayor saw no end to his media pursuits. While serving the Queen City, rock radio station WEBN-FM featured commentaries by Springer dubbed the Springer Memorandum. His radio takes would help him later get hired as a TV political reporter and commentator, then primary news anchor and managing editor for WLWT, where he first coined his signature phrase, "Take care of yourself and each other." He soon became the city's most popular news anchor, earning 10 local Emmy Awards. His topical commentaries would eventually become the basis for his Final Thoughts segment on Jerry Springer. He unsuccessfully ran in the Democratic Party primary for governor of Ohio in 1982. He also considered running for the U.S. Senate in both 2000 and 2004, but ultimately decided against it. Jerry Springer debuted September 30th, 1991 on WLWT as their answer to the popular The Phil Donahue Show, even chopping Springer's hair and fashioning him with new glasses to mimic Donahue's look. But Springer's broadcast, which launched as a politically oriented talk show, became a wholly different spectacle by year 3 on air. In 1993, the show got a new producer, Richard Dominic, who helped overhaul the format to garner a larger audience. Rather than politicians and public figures, guests became ordinary people with extraordinary stories to tell. They came to the show to confess their secrets of adultery, homosexuality, disability, transgenderism, and other arguably taboo subjects of the time, usually with family and lovers in tow. Often, those heated confrontations would lead to shouting and violence on stage, to the extent that viewers came to expect a scuffle with each weekday installment. By 1998, Jerry Springer rivaled ratings for The Oprah Winfrey Show in several markets, reaching close to 7 million viewers in a given episode. Excuse me for laughing, but I'm going to explain to you why I'm laughing after I read this. In 2007, VH1 produced the Springer Hustle docuseries, which gave fans a behind-the-scenes look at how his controversial talk show is produced. For nearly 2 years, between 2005 and 2006, he hosted a liberal talk show, Springer on the Radio, on Cincinnati's WCKY AM. In the meantime, Springer would be seen hosting a slew of television specials, including 2 Miss World pageants, 1 Miss Universe competition, and a number of WWE presentations. He also signed on with America's Got Talent on NBC, replacing Regis Philbin for the competition show's second season and third seasons in 2007 and 2008. From 2010 to 2015, he fronted a dating game show, Baggage. The same year that ended, Springer took his radio chops to the streaming airwaves with the Jerry Springer podcast, where he made history as the second American talk show host to travel to Cuba after Conan O'Brien in early 2015. Jerry Springer enjoyed 27 memorable seasons before his final new episode on July 26, 2018, though it continued to air in syndication for years to come. Springer briefly helmed a courtroom show, Judge Jerry, between 2019 and 2022, in which he could flex his legal prowess and engage in a somewhat more grown-up job, he told the Post when the show premiered. "I have to do research and I have to remember what I learned in law school and practice in law," he told the Post about my seriousness of his new role. "I really do my homework." That standard continued through the show's run. "It's a court and my decisions are legally binding, so we can't screw around," he told the Post at the start of the third and final season in 2021. Ever the self-effacing broadcaster, he also stepped up as a contestant on Dancing with the Stars in 2006 and more recently on last year's season of The Masked Singer. Springer is survived by his ex-wife, Mickey Velton, and his daughter, Katie. In lieu of flowers, the family asks fans to consider making a donation or committed to an act of kindness to someone in need of an advocacy organization. They added in their statement, as he always said, "Take care of yourself and each other." Or they added in their statement, as he always said, "Take care of yourself and each other." And that is the story of Jerry Springer. Now, I'm going to say this. The reason why I chuckled is because I was a child when I would watch Jerry Springer. And I remember when Jerry Springer first came on, it was a clean cut show. Then I remember it being provocative and starting in 96, but I didn't know it was provocative as going far back as 94. And I do remember when people were saying that he was a bootleg Donahue and that he was trying to take over Donahue's spot because if you remember, Donahue's show had to relocate to NYC around 1988 or 89 because of Oprah. He was originally in Chicago for years. And I don't care what nobody say. Donahue was the greatest talk show host of all time. Yes, I said it. He's the greatest of it. He's the GOAT. Okay, not Oprah, not Geraldo, okay, not even Jerry Springer, and not Maury. It's Phil Donahue, okay? And I still watch reruns of his show. But I have to be honest and say that whether you liked or loathed Jerry Springer, he is a TV icon because he did change TV. Whether it was for the worse or if it was just for Chucks and giggles, Here's my thing. Or shits and giggles. I can deal with controversial topics, okay? Because that's life. What I didn't enjoy about Jerry Springer, I feel that he tore down the perception of, I'm not going to say he tore it down, but he helped to propel the destruction of the American family via media, okay? Families have been acting like that for centuries, okay? But we never saw it play out in front of our eyes until Jerry Springer. Unless it was in a movie, a television show, a miniseries, or a documentary, we never saw it play out as people who were living those lives. For me, I thought that was the beginning of the end of the American family, particularly black families, because when you would have a mother and father talking about their child is a gay prostitute, let's be real, because they used to have shows like that, and the child coming out and he's a black man dressed as a woman, and he gonna tell Jerry, I'm a woman, and Jerry would let them know. The one thing that Jerry would say, you are a man. You was born a man. You are a man. Or when they were having episodes like, Jerry, I'm not gay, but I sleep with men. You are gay. You are gay. You are gay. You are gay. Yeah, like things like that. But to me, it got to the point. Now, this is why I chuckled. Because every time I would think of Jerry Springer's show, I would think of this person named Bacon. And my mother loved Bacon. Every time she would watch the reruns and they would air the Bacon episode, she watched it. So Bacon was a transgender woman who was sleeping with their sister's boyfriend. And the sister hated Bacon. Well, Bacon hated the sister. And Bacon said the reason why they did it was because the sister always stole his toys growing up, clothes, like to make fun of him for being fat, would steal his food. And the reason they called him Bacon because he loved bacon. So the sister found out what Bacon did, and the sister and Bacon had to fight on Jerry Springer. And the sister stashed Bacon's wig. But what made it legendary is that Bacon shook out his hair, and he had a backup weave that was pinned. And Jerry was like, oh my God, it's amazing. You actually have hair under your wig. And so the audience clapped. And Bacon was like, I come correct. I don't play, Jerry, okay? I took your man. I slept with your man. And so they was like, so Jerry was like, do you want him? He was like, no. I just didn't get back at her. And the boyfriend comes out And then she's like, how could you do this to me? How could you sleep with bacon? So that was funny. And then, in the end, she broke up with him. And, so she claimed, probably got back with him later on. But there was another episode with this person named Brittany. And everybody called him transgender Brittany. So Brittany was iconic because Brittany came from Philadelphia. And Brittany was part of the ball community. And Brittany had basically slept with a man. But the man didn't know that Brittany was trans. So Brittany was like, I got a secret. And Brittany was like, I'm a man. I was born a man. So he was like, how could you do this to me? How could you do this to me? So that was one of the first times that Brittany was on. But what made Brittany legendary is that Brittany got a woman pregnant. But the woman was sitting in the audience because they couldn't fight, So Brittany was going to become a father, although they were living their life as a trans woman. Brittany told Jerry that he wasn't going to get the surgery or they wasn't going to get the surgery. Well, I don't know. Him or they, whatever. Okay. He wasn't going to get the surgery because he wanted to be a father. So Brittany wanted to have at least 2 children. So Brittany knew this random girl and had approached her and said, hey, you want to be a mother? I want to be a father. Let's, do the do. So they did the do. And the girl was like, I was never ashamed of Brittany, And, I was wanting to be a mom. And I think Brittany will make a great father. And the audience was clapping. They was happy about it. Because the audience grew to love Brittany. And they called her transgender Brittany. But Brittany passed away around 2006. And they said it was because from the different surgeries that Brittany had for trying to, become a woman. But I'm going to be honest with you. That girl, I think, wanted to F a woman. And so that's why she did it. Oh, and then there was another story about this black girl that had sex with a transgender white woman and got pregnant with the baby. And she went to the gay club and she told Jerry, I really want to sleep with a woman. So when the person said that they was born a man, I was upset, but still I was having a bad moment with my husband. So I went out and slept with a white transgender woman. The husband molly-whopped that white transgender. Oh, yes, he did. He wanted to get his wife too, but they said you can't do that because she's pregnant. He was like, fuck you, bitch. Fuck you, bitch. I'm done with your ass. And I'm going to take the baby and I'm going to adopt the baby. And I'm going to tell them that you was a horrible mother and you going to stay away from the kid. And said the transgender white man said, no, I'm not, because I'm the father. And because, the white trans talk different than the black trans women, I'm the father and that is going to be my baby. And I'm going to have total custody of it. So that was the chuckle. Oh, but the one was Tara Lisa. This bitch had sex with food and she shaved her head so that she could get an orgasm for food. This bitch would put cold ham hocks on her head, salad, spaghetti, meatballs, potato salad. That bitch was a food hoe, literally speaking, and had a boyfriend. And the boyfriend walked away because he couldn't deal with the shit. Those are the people that he had on the show. And then the man, I was done with the man who said he was going to marry the horse. And then there was another one, this woman named Maria who was Mexican. Her black boyfriend named Tony was having sex with a man. And he told her that he admitted that he was gay, but said he became gay because Maria made him gay. And he said, no, woman can't make you gay, man. You was gay before that. You are gay. You are gay. You are gay. You are gay. I never really got with the lesbian ones. But the ones when they was like, I live my life as a man, but I was born a girl. I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna be good. But Jerry Springer, in my opinion, he did change it. I feel as though the reason why the show went off because of social media, the show no longer became provocative. And if you look at the last couple of seasons, because I would see some of it on TV, it wasn't shocking anymore. It was like, oh, okay, I see this on YouTube every single day. Or I go to World Star and see stuff like this. yeah, you basically made the lane, create the lane, but people are doing it more provocative because there's so much you can do on a 42-minute segment. You got social media where you can do it all long, however you want it, whether it's going to be 1 hour, 2 hours, 7 hours, and I got OnlyFans. So he had to pack it up, but rest in peace to Jerry Springer. He messed up TV. He said he was going to go to hell. I ain't going to be the judge of that, but I will say that yeah, I don't know, because kind of it makes you really, his ending wasn't really good. So that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave that there. But he is an icon, whether you like him or not. And the era ended before he passed away. They just replay the episodes. So with that being said, yeah, my condolences to the family. He leaves behind a daughter, and a lot of people don't notice, but his daughter is disabled, and he doesn't have children. She doesn't have children. A lot of people felt that the reason why he had the show and the reason why he was doing the things he was doing, tearing families apart and making families look bad, was because his daughter couldn't have children and he would never have grandkids. So it's like he resented other people. So I wanted to state that. But with that being said, I'm signing off. Thank you for listening, and have a good rest of your day.